Second chapter. A few hours later, I quietly exit my room, walking towards the door and looking back to make sure no one is around. I reached for the doorknob. I felt this hand slowly pressing on top of mine. Heading to class, this deep, soothing voice said to me. I quickly removed my hand after looking into his eyes for 2 very long seconds. "How dare you touch my hand?" I asked. I pushed his hand off mine, only to notice his hand hit his eyes, which made him flinch. I began to apologize, trying to see the damage I'd made. When he tried to move me away with a gentle push, our heads bucked, and on my way down to the floor, I grabbed his forbidden area. A loud scream came from his voice as my body hit the ground. "What is wrong with you?" he shouted. You should have never touched me first." "What are you?" "A pervert," I said with a glare. His eyes opened big and he pointed at me. "You little." I instantly stuck my tongue out at him and ran out the door as fast as I could. I looked back to make sure he wasn't chasing me. After noticing he wasn't, I head to my class to start my day new and better. 10 minutes later, the professor announced there was a new student in our class and he was coming up to introduce himself. I continued to unpack my bag without looking up. "Hi, my name is Matt," he said. I looked up with a glare of worry and confusion. "I know that voice," I whispered to myself. There he was, standing there staring at me with a sharp look of anger and revenge. "Welcome, Matt. You can sit anywhere, then we can continue our class," the teacher said. I quickly scrambled up my stuff to put in my bag and escape, but I was not fast enough. "I'll sit up there, next to her," he pointed. If there was a moment where I wished I could turn invisible, this would be it. Everyone looked at me. The girls looked with scorn on their faces, and the guys looked with a pitying look on their faces. "Wow, all these hotties in here and you choose to sit with the biggest book freak in the class," a student said. The whole class began to laugh. I stood up with my eyes full of tears and asked to be excused. Matt took my hand and looked at the class with anger on his face, with rolled up tissue in his nose to stop the nose bleeding, and firmly said, "Just because she's the smartest in the class doesn't give any of you rights to act like primary kids and call her names." I looked at him as if he was my prince who came to save me from this pathetic life I am living, until he looked at me and whispered, "Prepare to be in hell for calling me a pervert." I looked at him with a shocked look on my face. As of today, this book freak will be my personal slave, so feel free to let me know if you need anything done and I'll have her do it. I yuck my hand away with anger on my face. "Matt, what the?" I shouted right when the bell rang.